not a king.
Atlantis has always had a king. Now I need something more.
But what could be greater than a king?
A hero.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Time for the Real Everyday Movie Fan. I'm Josh Williams.
And I'm Ryan Murphy.
Thank you so much for joining us. Today we are giving you our real-time review of Aquaman.
And we're early because we saw an advanced screening.
We got an advanced screening
here in Des Moines, Iowa. So I guess we're just cooler than you. I mean, also, of course, the film stars Des Moines native Jason Momoa. It's directed by James Wan, and it also stars Amber Heard, Patrick Wilson, Nicole Kidman, Temuera Morrison, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. There's a mouthful. And some other people.
A lot of other people.
Yeah.
And
Dolph Lundgren. Yeah.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren's in it, which is actually pretty good in it. If you haven't noticed, we're on location. I'm up here in Des Moines, so we're on Ryan's set that we built up here. Let's get right into it, though. Let's start with you.
Let's start with you. I want to.
Oh, you want to start with me? Okay.
Score.
My score. I thoroughly had a lot of fun. This to me is like in the realm of baseball. This was to me like a double or a triple. It wasn't a home run like Wonder Woman. I'm still gonna probably get it a solid 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Solid, just not, but nowhere near above it. More, I want to give it that because I had a ton of fun. Jason Momoa, he commanded the screen really well. There was a couple moments where he had his Jason Momoa moments where I didn't really like. You see in the trailer, like he screams "badass" in the middle of like a very dramatic scene, and that kind of took me out slightly. But besides that, he commanded the screen really well. He is Aquaman now, definitively. He did a great job in this. And even then, the biggest thing I loved was, I don't know about you, but the world building was awesome. I mean, just the able to, it felt like it was like an Avatar level building of world building. I was very impressed with how these creatures, how they're able to very well explain certain things within it that wouldn't make sense if you didn't have it be explained to you in a way. But those are some of the biggest things. We'll talk some more afterwards. What about you? What did you think?
I'm gonna give this movie probably about a 6 out of 10.
6.
There's people who really dislike this movie. Even coming out of the theater, there
are.
I had this one guy was saying, "So you really didn't like it?" No, I really didn't. That was a funny conversation I just overheard. I wanted to stick around and hear more. So you really didn't like it, man? No, I really didn't.
Well, what about you? Like, so
I mean, first of all, the good stuff you said, the world building, the effects of this movie
are really good too.
Being underwater. The first time we see someone underwater, it looks a little silly. The people riding seahorses and stuff, and I like how this film was
cool.
not afraid to look a little silly with the seahorses and the sharks with lasers on their freaking heads. And you know, Black Manta looks kind of silly, but it's just they're kind of reveling in that sort of very comic bookish But the effects and like the way that they make people look like they're underwater when they talk, it sounds a little echoey. So it's like you get used to that real quick and you stop noticing it. But and just like you buy that they're underwater, however they're doing that. I think they kind of CG'd all their hair so that it's waving around and all that sort of stuff. So not all of the effects look super great. There's some stuff that's going to get accused of being cartoony. So it's not all on War for the Planet of the Apes level, but when you have this amount of effects and that kind of inventive stuff, I mean, there's some really inventive and groundbreaking stuff here. So I really appreciated that, and even just some of the stuff like the way they move underwater, they really put a lot of thought into this. So like just very subtle things like someone like one of the Atlanteans who's lived there his whole life will just like swim a little bit. They'll walk and then they'll swim a little bit or turn around a little bit with their arms, and I mean it's like really simple. Subtle stuff like that was really cool, and I really appreciated a lot of that. There was a lot of world building and some good action. Definitely some cool stuff.
The action was great, and I gotta say, if it wasn't for me personally, if it wasn't for James Wan, I don't think this movie would have been nearly as good. It was his direction, his camera work that really made a lot of his spinning around a lot of the action scenes with people fighting 2-on-2, or there's a fight scene with Mira and some Atlantean soldiers that was really great. Like there's one scene that there's a chase scene and you see it in the trailers. It's this tracking shot that goes along with her. I thought it looked really great because it would zoom into her and then come back out. It almost looked like a one take, but it did have some cuts in there. But it was just very well directed. He told a very well story. Some people say it was a little too long. Do you agree with that?
Maybe a little bit, but not really. But let's get into some of your negatives.
Some of my negatives, there's some things that were a little silly. Some lines that I felt were a little cheesy. I did feel like it was slightly long, just a little, but not too much. There was I think maybe if you cut off maybe about 10 minutes, it would have been much more tight knit. Would have been a little bit better in that aspect. I will say the kids who played Jason Momoa, the kids who play Arthur Curry, like you get a lot of flashbacks to him as a real little kid, and then him as a teenager. I didn't think they were very well. Their performance wasn't very well. It kind of took me out of the movie quite a bit. And I don't know. Other than that, it was just the reason it kind of bumped it down was those aspects could have cut down a little bit more. The pacing was sometimes lost in the second act. But I will say this: the reason I feel like this is a good solid hit for DC was the fact that for me, I actually felt like the third act of this movie delivered better than Wonder Woman. Weirdly enough, I felt like the third act of Wonder Woman, everyone says it's not the best, and for this one, I felt like the second act wasn't as good because, like I said, it could have been a little more tight knit. The pacing could have been a bit better, but the third act in this movie, you gotta admit, those action sequences were awesome. And when Aquaman finally has his trident, like you see in the trailer, and the suit, I didn't think that classic looking suit would work, but for me it did. I don't know about you.
Yeah, well, as far as my negatives, here we go. Okay, it's just kind of stupid. Okay, so like the whole premise is that King Orm wants to declare this war on the surface world because they've been polluting for a century, and we're not going to put up with it anymore. Like, wouldn't the first step? I mean, I understand he's supposed to be the bad guy, so he's not supposed to have the right idea. But like, wouldn't just for like anyone, like step one, like let them know you exist. Just saying, like, hey guys, we're here, so if you wouldn't mind, stop polluting. No, okay, now we're gonna declare war. Like, it's just, and no one brings that up. Not one person the whole movie. They come close at one point with, like, the Fish King. He's like, well, we should educate the people. Oh, shut up. You know, it's like, I mean, no one ever brings that up. Like, you know, they don't even know you exist. Okay, no, okay. Like, we're just gonna declare war, like, because they've been dumping their waste into the sea for... Where do you see people dump their waste? Was no one else thinking that? Oh, surface people dump their waste into the sea. Not like sea people. We dump our waste into space or some shit. I don't know. So, like, the fact that no one brought that up the whole movie was just like, wow. I mean, we just need a plot. We need something to happen. So we need him to declare war on the surface world. It was very contrived. There's a lot of stuff like that. A lot of dumb stuff. Like, people escape from Atlantis when they're not supposed to be able to because they have to for the plot. Aquaman's powers of, you know, communicating with sea life kind of comes and goes as the plot requires. There's no explanation as to where Mira's powers come from. She has, if you know the comics, she has what they call hydrokinesis. She controls water to an extent.
Which I thought was cool.
But they never explain why she's the only Atlantean who has this power. There's just a lot of stuff, you know, just kind of general dumb stuff they skip over. There's a dumb line. The characters are not very charming. There's no romantic chemistry between Jason Momoa and Amber Heard at all. I did not buy.
I bought it.
My dad's, like, one of his least favorite movies one of the movies he hates among all movies is As Good as It Gets. Because he feels, and I'm not corroborating this, I haven't seen it in like 20 years, but he feels that that's a movie where it's just like there's a guy, there's a girl, they're on screen, so naturally they fall in love, and then there comes the point where they're kissing, and he's just like, what are you doing? You don't even like this person. So it's like, I did not buy when they started to be attracted to each other, or when that even was. It was never, there's no chemistry, they're not even charming, there's not even very good character development on Mira. Her character development is like, I don't like the surface world. Why? I just have my preconceptions. Well, here's something pretty. Oh, that is pretty. Like, that's her character development. Nothing about like who she is or where she struggled in her life or anything like that. No, just like surface world sucks. Ooh, look, roses. Like, so there's just a lot of dumb stuff, but a lot of entertaining stuff too. The effects, the inventiveness of the underwater world was just, I think alone would make this movie worth seeing. It's just it's so I mean, something new and something cool, and you know, like I said, it's not afraid to look a little silly with people riding seahorses, and it just kind of has fun with itself, and yeah, so
I highly recommend it as well. I definitely check this out in the theaters. It's a lot of fun. The visuals are amazing. You get a lot of great cinematography, like cinematic shots too, of like the sea and a couple spots different other places like the Sahara and in Italy. Those are all really great, and I liked their chemistry, and I even liked. Now they didn't explain a lot with Temuera, but I mean, I liked her character. I liked her character as far as her performance of it, and her action scenes were great. Those are some of my favorite action scenes with her using her powers.
When you got to go into battle, you got to show that cleavage. That's just not practical. I mean, hello, this is my battle. That's just silly.
Either way, I'm glad we can both recommend everybody check this out. It is a fun time at the theaters. I think it's a great movie to see with your family around Christmas time, and definitely check it out and let us know what you think. All right, folks, that'll do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. And what did you think of Aquaman if you have seen it? Leave your comments section below. Let us know whether you liked it or not, your positive, negatives, and your score out of 10. Also, if you like what you watched, then hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you can receive more of our various content in the future. Also, like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Stardust. I'm the only one who's really on it. And the links are in the description below as always. And that's all we have for today. I'm Josh Williams.
And I'm Ryan Murphy.
And thank you for keeping it real.
With ReelTime.